Climb aboard, Dog Wonder.
From 1976 to 77, Hanna-Barbera Productions aired a show on ABC that was like no other. Titled Dynomutt, Dog Wonder, the show focused on its titular character, a bumbling but effective mechanical dog who fought crime with his master, a superhero named the Blue Falcon, who's kind of like Batman in a number of ways. The Blue Falcon and Dynomutt teamed up with Scooby-Doo and the gang every now and then, and were quite an entertaining pair of crime fighters. Now, after almost 5 decades, this superhero duo is back in the form of a comic book series. What's it about? How is it? Should you read it? We'll tell you all that and more today. But before we begin, we do have a really quick request. If you haven't already, consider tapping that subscribe button. It's a small click for you, but it means an awful lot to us. Thank you. And now, let's begin. A new beginning and a bad dream. Blue Falcon and the Dynomutt begins right in the middle of the action. The apocalypse has arrived in Big City, and its lone protector, Blue Falcon, vigilante and hero, stands ready to face off against winged villains armed with machetes, maces, and swords. He fights them off valiantly, but unfortunately he's outnumbered. As a villain drives a sword into his shoulder from behind, the Blue Falcon feels himself slipping into a black quicksand, and when he wakes up, he's safe in his bed. That's right, it was just a nasty nightmare for the Blue Falcon. In the safety of his mansion, the Blue Falcon is Radley Crown, a millionaire art dealer. Now, as we said, the man shares a lot of similarities with Batman. He's rich, he uses his money to build a supersuit for himself, and spends his free time patrolling the city to make sure it's free of crime and violence. But there's a major difference between the two. Other than Radley's golden hair, Radley actually enjoys life and is kinda upbeat compared to the brooding and dark Bruce Wayne. Radley shared his dream with his Doberman pinscher, Dino, and reasoned that the dream was probably just a side effect of having a lot of chocolate and coffee at night instead of an omen. He then diverted the conversation to his new girlfriend, whose name we don't learn just yet. Radley's girlfriend is a smoking hot zoologist, and according to Radley's own admission, they grew close rather quickly. That's never a good sign when you're moonlighting as a masked vigilante, if we do say so ourselves, but modern dating is absolutely hellish, and Radley found someone with a lot of matching interests. Science, music, and illustration, so he made the decision to bring her home and meet his number one friend, Dino. Dino, of course, was indifferent about his girlfriend. She volunteered the info that she was free later that day, but Radley brushed her off, claiming that he had clients in town thanks to a convention, and his day was filled with taking care of Dino and responding to emails. They decided to meet again on Saturday for their date, and Radley watches his girlfriend leave. Blue Falcon and the new threat in town. Radley heads to the laboratory in his mansion to tend to his real tasks. Dino calls the elevator down with a button installed just for him, which is an awesome little detail. In the lab, they meet Rudy King, a scientist who's been appointed by Radley to make a smaller, lighter module of a mysterious device. Radley gladly accepts the module, while Rudy rattles off questions as to why the device was needed and what super secret mission he was tending to. Rather cryptically, Radley replied that thanks to Rudy's device, Radley was one step closer to solving a conundrum. Without explaining himself, at all, Radley thanks Rudy and tells him that from now on, he would receive triple the pay, along with a 20% cut on the patent if he managed to get one. Rudy was shocked by this casual and sudden display of generosity, and while he was still trying to make sense of it, Radley leads him to the elevator. He tells the stuttering Rudy that he had earned Radley's trust and he would be let in on his secret come Monday. Radley then rushed off to his secret lair where he housed the Blue Falcon suit. He integrated the chip Rudy modified into his belt, which gave him the ability to fly. His compass card was connected to the liquid ring of gyroscopes to give him the exact angular momentum needed to facilitate subtle movement commands. Basically, his technology helped him fly accurately without injuring himself. Meanwhile, riding down the elevator, Rudy is racked with guilt. He had judged his boss too soon, and he had assumed he was cold, secretive, and cheap. In order to make more money, he had made a dangerous deal with a shady character called the Beast. Rudy was still hopeful though, and wanted to stop the deal before more damage was done. As soon as he got off the elevator, men in black costumes asked him to hand over his key card. Rudy requested they stop whatever they were doing and offered to pay them back, but the men tell him that once the Beast gave a command, he expected it to be carried out. They demand his key card, and when Rudy refused to hand it over, one of them choked him until he passed out to get their hands on it. The Blue Falcon was too busy celebrating his newly gained flight, which would help him patrol Big City without being discovered. discovered. The first to discover the break-in was Dyno, who immediately darted down the stairs to fight the perpetrators. Unfortunately, the perpetrators were armed with guns and shock batons. They mercilessly shoot down Dyno, and as the faithful dog whined in pain, the Blue Falcon arrived next. He unleashes his wrath on the burglars. He fights with such courage that one of the goons tucks his tail between his legs and runs for cover. Having defeated the group of them, the Blue Falcon gathered his loyal companion in his arms and listened to his dog's weak heartbeat. Begging Dyno to stay alive, the Blue Falcon carries him into his lab. What to expect next? This was just the first issue of Blue Falcon and Dynomutt by writer Jimmy Palmiotti, who has previously scripted Jonah Hex and Harley Quinn comics, as well as artist Pascal Quilano, who has worked for both DC and Marvel previously. The awesome cover art for the books was created by Lucio Perillo, Amanda Connor, Joseph Michael Linsner, and Francesco Mattina. Palmiotti mentioned that the comic was not going to explore the origin of the Blue Falcon, but would rather explore the connection between a man and his dog as they go through a major event in both of their lives. He also warned readers that Blue Falcon and Dynomutt might be darker than what we remember, and that's been true so far. Seeing Dyno bloody and wounded almost made us put the book down, but it looks like this might be how Dynomutt gains all of his powers. Spoiler alert to all those who haven't seen the original series, but Dynomutt is actually a clumsy robot with the ability to create mechanical devices from its body. We never actually learn how he came to be that way, but Blue Falcon's origin story was explained in the show. In a crossover episode with Dexter's laboratory, Blue Falcon's nemesis, the Buzzard, had killed Dynomutt during a mission, and the Falcon had patched him up with the latest robotic technology. In this episode, Dynomutt wasn't as lovable and cute as he was in the comic, but instead he was kinda irritating and annoying. As a result, Blue Falcon created Dynomutt 2.0 and resorted to confining the original Dynomutt in his lab. But this new and improved Dynomutt was way too strict, and when he set a man on fire for littering, Blue Falcon had to put an end to him. With the help of Dyno and Dexter, Blue Falcon had laid Dynomutt 2.0 to rest. The creators seem to be taking a new and modern approach to the story, so we might see Dynomutt more capable and less clumsy in the comic book. There are also a lot of questions the first issue brings up, like who is the Beast, and why did he target the Blue Falcon? There's also the case of the mysterious zoologist, who remains unnamed. In our comic reading experience, anybody getting romantically close to the protagonist in a record time means that they'll have some ulterior motives. There's also the case of Rudy King, the scientist. Will Radley forgive him for this grave betrayal? How did he cross paths with the Beast in the first place? Hopefully, the upcoming issues will explain everything to us soon. Marvelous verdict! It's great to see Hanna-Barbera's crime-fighting duo back in action. What did you think of the first issue of the Blue Falcon and Dynomutt? We personally loved the crisp art style on display. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button to let us know. We'll soon be back with more wonderful comics and their explorations, but until then, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.